looking at two of the components that go into determining the lower cost or market for inventory valuation. We're going to be looking at net realizable value and net realizable value minus the normal profit. So we're going to use a couple of examples to do this. Let's begin by taking a look at exercise 9-5 in my textbook. We have the Royal Decking Company. They have 5 products in their product line, and we're given information about those products. As you can see, we're given the cost, the replacement cost, and the selling price for each of our items. They tell us that the gross profit is 30% of selling price, and that to dispose of these items, we would have to pay a sales commission of 10% off the selling price and 5% off the cost. So you see that we're being a little bit tricky. One of the costs relates to selling price, the commission, the shipping relates to the cost of the inventory item. The first thing we do is determine the net realizable value. The formula for net realizable value is the selling price less the disposal costs. That will yield our net realizable value. In the FASB code, in the glossary, net realizable value is defined as the estimated selling price in the normal course of business less reasonably predicted cost of completion and disposal. Here the products are complete. We're concentrating on 2 disposal costs, the commission and the shipping cost. It's important to read this phrase closely. In the ordinary course of business, the FASB does not believe fire sale prices for items should be used to determine net realizable value. Instead, it would be what the selling price was in the normal course of business. So in our example, to determine the net realizable value, we're going to take the selling price and we're going to subtract the commission and the shipping cost. I've set up this Excel spreadsheet to help us determine the net realizable value. I've listed our products across the columns, and from the problem I took the selling price that was given and the cost. What do I need both? Well, the commission is going to be based on the selling price, the shipping on the cost. Our net realizable value will be the shipping cost minus the commission minus the shipping. We can do that all in one formula, but I'm going to break it out into steps. And first I'm going to determine the disposal cost. And the disposal cost will be equal to 2 components. The first component is the commission, which is the selling price of $60 for product A times 10% plus the cost of product A times 5%. So the total disposal cost for the commission and shipping is $8. The net realizable value will be the selling price of 60 minus the disposal cost of 8, or $52. Let me do that one more time using product B. Our disposal cost, we make 2 components. So in Excel we use the equal sign for formula, put parentheses open to first determine the commission, which is the selling price times 10% plus the cost times 5%. So our disposal cost for product B at $14. Our net realizable value is the selling price of $100 minus the disposal cost of $14. So net realizable value is 86. Since we have formulas, we can copy and paste for the remaining products. So I'll copy cells B6 and B7 and paste them over to our remaining cell. So now we'll determine our net realizable value. Net realizable value will be used in our comparison for lower cost and market. Plus, it's also needed to determine the net realizable value minus the normal profit. So let's take a look at that. So let's go over and determine our normal profit. On this section of the spreadsheet, again, I have all the products, the selling price, which came from the problem, and the gross profit margin, which is also given at 30% for each item. So the normal profit for product A would be the selling price of $60 times the profit margin of 30% or $18. Product B would be 100 times 30% or $30. And we can take that and copy and paste that across. So now we have our normal profit for each of these problems. For the next part of the problem, we need to determine the net realizable value, which we calculated above, minus the normal profit that we calculated. So let's set up our chart. Again, we have the products. We're going to have two lines, the net realizable value, which we've calculated, and then the normal profit. We'll subtract the normal profit from the net realizable value, and that will give us our second component of the LCM analysis, net realizable value minus normal profit. So for product A, we'll go up and we will say that the net realizable value equals cell B7, the normal profit equals cell B14, and our net realizable value minus normal profit is $34. Again, we can take that, copy that, paste it across, and we have our second component of our analysis, net realizable value minus normal profit. Our final section will do the actual LCM analysis. Again, we're going to be looking at the middle amount for three items. The net realizable value that we calculated, the net realizable value minus normal profit that we also calculated, and then the replacement cost. In this problem, replacement cost is given to us, so we'll take those amounts and we'll enter more over for each of our items. And now we'll build our analysis. We need to use the net realizable value for product A. We brought that down to cell B18 before, $52. And we have our net realizable value minus normal profit. And we calculated that in cell B20 for product A. We can now go and copy, paste them across, and now it's a matter of looking at our three components of LCM and picking the middle item. So for product A, we have net realizable value of 52, replacement cost of 35, net realizable value minus normal profit of 34. So our middle number is going to be the replacement cost of $35. For product B, we have a high, a net realizable value of 86, a low of our NRV minus NP. So our middle will be, again, our replacement cost. That is also true for product C. However, for product D, and for product D, our middle is going to be the net realizable value minus the normal profit of 73. And for product E, our net realizable value is the middle. So it doesn't hold true that replacement cost will always be the middle amount. We have to do our analysis of the three components and choose the item that is in the middle between the high and the low. Next, we're going to compare the middle to the cost and pick the lower. For product A, our market of 35 is lower than cost, so the LCM is going to be 35. For product B, it will also be the market. For product C, our cost is lower. For product D, we're going to be using the middle or the market amount of 73. And for product E, cost is the lowest. As I said, to compute the net realizable value minus normal profit, you have to be given the normal selling price, the normal gross profit, and the net realizable value. Sometimes that's given to you straight out. As in exercise 9-1, they give us not only the selling price, but they also provide the normal profit margin, so you don't have to calculate that amount. You would have to, in that problem, determine the net realizable value. Problems can also get a little more exotic, as in exercise 9-3. Notice here, instead of giving you the gross profit margin based on the selling price, they're giving you the normal gross profit margin percentage as a percentage of cost, and that's not the way we normally speak about the gross profit margin. So in that particular case, the gross margin, the normal profit would be the cost in the case of product A, 120,000 times 25% of course, and the normal profit there would be 1/4 of 120,000 or 40,000. So you have to be careful of how the problem is presented. For our exam, it's going to follow the more normal approach, I believe, which would be the one given in exercise 9-5. Again, the exotic part of 9-5, if you will, is how we compute the disposal cost. One is based off the selling price, one is based off the cost. So I hope this has helped you a bit. Again, be very careful about reading the words, understanding the terminology, and organizing the spreadsheets. So hopefully this is helpful, and we'll talk soon.